What is going on, guys, and welcome to another edition of Fan Theories with your host, as always, K-Mac time. And as usual, these theories were submitted by none other than your guys yourselves, the fans, over to me on Facebook. Link to the Facebook fan page in the description. You guys want your theories to be featured in a future episode, be sure to click the link in the description, check out the fan page, and send them over to me over there in a message. But anyway, we have a very special episode lineup today for you guys with the release of Star Wars Rogue One just a few short weeks away. I thought it'd be a cool idea to do a full episode on some Star Wars theories that you guys have come up with recently. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Our first theory comes from the Reddit user Axionon. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong and I apologize, but it's kind of hard to read. But anyway, he claims that General Grievous was trained wrong on purpose to ensure that he was killed off. He says that there's no way Grievous should have lost his duel with Obi-Wan, Jedi or not. He says that 4 arms and 4 sabers versus 1 saber should be a guaranteed win. He says that Palpatine made sure he was trained wrong, not as a joke, but as a way to make sure Grievous would eventually be killed off once he finished his role in Sidious as planned. If we look at how Grievous attacks Obi-Wan, throughout the fight he slams multiple sabers against Obi-Wan's single blade. But why, though? He has 4 arms. At any point, he could use 1 or 2 of his arms against the opponent's lightsaber, like he is in this picture. But he has an extra 2 hands and 2 blades, respectively, to straight up slay Obi-Wan's torso, or cut off his hands, or do anything else. Why does he go with all 4 blades? He only really needs 2 to deflect the Obi-Wan's lightsaber. Jedi or not, Obi-Wan would not have been able to effectively block 4 lightsabers at once if they all came in different directions. But Grievous fights like a total idiot. He treats his 4 lightsabers as if they were just 1, or he uses the extras to be flashy or show signs of pizzazz or just be kind of charismatic about the way he fights. Instead of actually fighting to actually kill someone, he's just kind of showing off that he has 4 lightsabers and can spin them and do weird attacks that don't make any sense. The only explanation behind this is that Palpatine needed him dead after a certain point. So he had him trained to be a horrible lightsaber dueler so that he would eventually be killed off by a Jedi and therefore would not be a pain in the ass of Palpatine once his role had been served. This theory seems somewhat plausible, so I give it a 3 out of 5. So thank you for the submission. That was a very interesting one. I never thought about it like that. It actually kind of adds something to that movie I'd never really thought about before. And I always wondered why do they think it's a badass character with 4 lightsabers and he doesn't really use them to the full potential. But that is a pretty cool thing there. But we're moving on to our next theory, and it has to do with the plausible origins of Rey, the character from The Force Awakens. And this theory was written by the Reddit user The Playboy, and it claims that Rey is in fact a royal family member. The royalties have played a large role in the Star Wars universe for quite some time. If you look at the prequel era, there are thousands of star systems with monarchies as governments. Before the Galactic Empire, many planets, for example Naboo and Lasan, were ruled by royal families. It was not until Supreme Chancellor Palpatine declared a first Galactic Empire and named himself Emperor that the galaxy was grouped into oversectors controlled by Grand Moffs, and monarchies kind of went by the wayside. In Star Wars Rebels, we learned from Zeb, who was a former captain of a Lasan High Honor Guard, that the Empire wiped out the royal family of Lasan, along with most of its population. We also learned that Queen of Naboo was assassinated by the 501st Legion. We also know that the House Organa, the royal house of Alderaan, at the time almost died out completely when the Imperial superweapon, the Death Star, destroyed the entire planet. Although lots of governments suffered from the Empire's reign, not all royal families became extinct. In The Force Awakens, royal families were mentioned several times. Lor Sa Tekken says to Leia, quote, "Oh, the general? To me, she is royalty." And when we first meet Han in the movie, he is transporting 3 Rathars to King Prana. At this point, we know for sure that some of the monarchies survived the Imperial regime. This is where the theory comes in. It says that Rey is from a royal family from a planet unknown to the audience. The First Order invaded Rey's homeworld and wiped them out. And maybe a group of loyal guards escaped with young Rey and left her on Jakku for her own safety. This theory is incredibly intriguing to me, and it's also worth mentioning that the Spanish word for king is in fact Rey. So there may be some kind of connection going on in there as well in the subtext. They like to do things like that in Star Wars. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if it's true or not. And I give this theory a 3 out of 5 as well, as it doesn't have that much evidence for it, but it's still pretty interesting to think about as we wait for the next Star Wars installment. And our final theory of the day comes from the Reddit user Who You Expected, and his theory claims that Order 66 was never expected to fully succeed. One of the biggest problems with the old Star Wars EU was the vast numbers of Jedi who survived Order 66. Surely, given time, these desperate people would have taken time to find each other and fight against the two Sith Lords, ruining their lives, right? Well, no. Darth Sidious never intended to kill any more than the Jedi Council, the Temple, and the Younglings, and here is why. The Council provided the leadership of the Jedi and advice to the Senate, and those in roles would have never been the best suited to lead a rebellion against the Empire. Many council members were given command of clone troopers for this very reason. Next, the Temple. The Temple provided a symbol for the people and had to be destroyed at all costs. It also had Jedi knowledge that could help the rebellion if given to the general public. Third, the Younglings. They were the last generation to be trained in the ways of the Force and presented a threat of future rebellion if not dealt with. Sidious also didn't want to turn them into the dark side, as he had enough Siths to fulfill his goals and didn't want to deal with any extra challenge to his authority that Siths would already bring. If he added more, it would have been hard to control them all. So basically, Order 66 was just initiated to take out those three main targets. And leaving low and mid-level Jedi Knights alive also had benefits, believe it or not. The Jedi were well known to the Senate by Sidious. By extension, this gave him time to learn their behavior, track their movements, find their contacts, and generally put them in positions where they no longer were a threat to him. And also this leads to the Jedi being used to lure in other dissidents out of hiding. If you think about it, there are probably a lot of disloyal people in the new Empire who probably wouldn't go as far to join a rebellion out of fear of being killed, but they might actually give material or financial support to the Jedi. And if the Empire can track the Jedi, they can also track who is helping them and therefore eliminate the people before they can form a real viable threat to the Empire. And this, again, is a very interesting theory that I never thought about, and it kind of adds a layer of depth to these characters. And I really like that about these theories. And I give it a 4 out of 5 because it adds so much to the plot. There's really no reason that it can't be true. But anyway, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. Let's hit 500 likes for the end of the weekend. And if we do, I'll drop out next week's theory a day early for you guys. So make sure to start smashing that like button and subscribing for more content, Star Wars, and theories. Also, thank you guys again for everyone who submitted their theories to me over on Facebook. And if you guys want yours to be featured in a future episode, make sure to head on over there, link in the description, and send me your theories in a message. But until next time, guys, remember that's always K-Mac time somewhere. Till then, take it easy and peace out.